And we're back. Hey everyone, welcome to just make sure. Okay, no, that's fine. Hey everyone, welcome back to Chesh Breaks. I'm of course one of your hosts, Cheshire, plays games, Chesh Breaks, whatever you want to call me. I'm Al, and I'm here, of course, with Ads as per usual. Ads, how you doing?
It's Friday. I am fantastic. Yeah, end of the week. I'm looking forward to a nice, relaxing weekend without any NBA finals. Thanks, US.
Oh,
Monday's the next game. It's ridiculous.
well, look. No, I got
It's all
nothing
right.
for that.
It's Milwaukee versus Phoenix. Like, yeah.
Clearly, Phoenix are going to win, so you know.
Yeah.
And of course, we have a special guest, and that, of course, is Russell. Russell, how are you?
Hey guys, how you doing today?
Yeah, not too bad. Do you want to fill us in a little bit on who you are, where you're from, and why Shane dropped you into the deep end of the Shark Tank?
So I think my original calling was on US Sportscasters Australia, and I've been with that group now for maybe 3.5 years, and we do breaks and we do traders night, and we just have a sort of a general chat room, which probably spend too much time in, but it's a great, really good group of guys. And Shane reached out to me with Neb to join their podcast after their Talking Cardboard, went on hiatus, and they rebooted as Card School. So I think it's doing pretty good so far.
It's enjoyable.
We just getting to know each other and learn how to work together. And I think in the very short period of time we've been doing it, it's gone really good. So yeah.
I mean, it's so the one thing I'm gonna say, and this is obviously not poking fun at what you guys are doing, because the podcast is good, it is solid content. You tend to talk over each other a bit, and Shane needs to fix his fucking microphone. and Shane, if you want to say anything about that, go back and listen to the latest episode, buddy, and fix your microphone for me.
We had a lot of audio troubles this week. So actually, normally the software puts it all together for you, and then basically, we just sort of chop it and put it all together. But I had to get all 4 streams and try and sync them up. So this week was not a great sort of audio outcome, but that's probably why it sounded like we're talking over each other a little bit. But hopefully next week that will be all sorted out.
Yeah. But again, going back to me not actually poking fun at you guys, like, it is a solid podcast, and it is from people who do know what the fuck they're doing podcast wise, even if you proclaim that you don't have the knowledge that you feel like you need. Here's the thing, you don't need it. I feel like my microphone, speaking of microphones, is sorry, I'm gonna blow everyone's fucking eardrums for a sec so I can move my microphone closer, because I just realized it was sitting behind my...
Are you reading the chat right now, Al?
Look, it's off to my left right now. Okay, sure. All I say is we get 1K listeners. Right now, I'm your only one. That's fine. I mean, Card Culture Taz was in here as well, so we had to... We get all of our views afterwards anyway. I don't really give a shit about the live audience. I think everyone knows that.
We're not a podcast. We're on YouTube.
Exactly. We're a talk show, not a podcast. Fucking deal with it.
Show that. I like that.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because somebody said to me, like, so what do you do? And I was like, I mean, we're not really a podcast because it's visual. And I don't want to call it a video podcast because that just makes me sound like a douchebag. Like I should be doing coke out the back of a fucking Porsche somewhere. I was like, really, it's just a talk show that has a mail time. That's like, we talk. And it's very visual.
We're vlogging, man. We're vlogging.
Well, I mean, jeez.
Yeah, you guys are talking to the wrong person about this. All this TikTok, Instagram, Discord. I have no idea like what's going on here. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks for getting me through what it fucking says. It's us talking about mail time and hobby news.
Yeah, let's do it.
Somebody was just like, what the fuck is this stream? It's like you've never been here before? Like, I don't give a fuck.
Oh boy.
Wait till Card School goes live. Boy oh boy, fuck yeah. Alright, so I have to make an addendum because somebody brought this up the other day. I can't believe that somebody called me out on this, but So I made a joke about LeBron not putting his name on the high school that he built. That was a fucking joke. If you don't know that was a joke with me poking fun at LeBroni, like, what are you doing with your life? Because really, like, I'm sure he's done lots of really good things, but I mean, he's still gonna put his name on a fucking high school that he built because it's LeBron. Right? Besides, they're out of the finals anyway, so who cares?
Space Jam comes out very shortly.
Today?
Advanced screenings are on. I can't wait.
Yeah, I think that came out either yesterday or today.
Yep. Because media screenings were last night, as I found out this morning when I woke up to an email saying, "Hi, we thought we'd invited you to this media screening," and I was like, "No, you didn't." I mean, I probably wouldn't have gone anyway, to be honest.
I'm a little bit keen to see Space Jam. I don't know.
Look, okay, so the first Space Jam was pretty trash, but it was aimed at a kid audience and not me, right? Just something to put out there.
Some adult jokes in it. Bill Murray was like pretty good, and
yeah, but it was put in there for the parents, right? Like, let's be honest, it was put in there so the parents weren't totally shitbored. This one looks like a 50-year-old or 60-year-old wrote it for #the_kids, and I just feel like it just seems to me like Old Man Yells at Cloud tries to make money, if you know what I mean. Like, the way that it's written just seems like surprisingly off kilter for what it is. Like, if this was 10 years ago, sure, it would have been like cool, but like, you're dropping fucking Matrix references. LeBron, you're dropping Matrix fucking references. Like, Matrix 4 is probably going to come out, like, what, next year?
Yeah, it's on
but it's still not relevant. No one cares. Like, that's a bad joke. Anyway.
Oh boy.
The kids don't care. I am looking forward to seeing it though, even though I'm an old man yelling at clouds.
We're gonna have to get on and do our Space Jam a new Legacy review. That's the next.
That's absolutely something that we'll have
a random video.
Sure. Done. Because look, and again, the one thing I always say that actually pisses me off a lot about when I used to do movie reviews and stuff, and you come across those people, is like, recognize who the movie is for, right? So like, it's fine if you want to say the movie is not for you and that you thought it was trash, but acknowledge who the movie is for and acknowledge how they would probably perceive that movie, right? Because like, the original Space Jam with Jordan wasn't for me. It really wasn't. You know, at that time I was I would have been in my 20s, I think, or close enough to my 20s. So, you know, it was clearly a kid's movie and not for me. But I know absolutely, like, the girl that I was dating at the time, Allison, like, her little brother, who would have been, I think, about 12 or 13, fucking loved it. You know, he ate that shit up.
Yeah.
What about you, Russell? Did you like Space Jam when it first came out?
Yeah, I mean, it was entertaining enough, and you know, it's Jordan. Like, who doesn't like Jordan? So for me, it's no troubles at all. I probably haven't put as much thought into this as you have, though. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a bit kind of like, if it entertains me, you know, that's kind of good enough for me. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah,
that's fair. And again, it comes down to, like, you know, different people have different tastes. I fucking hate licorice. I hate it. I detest licorice. I know plenty of people who absolutely loved licorice. Now, those little licorice squares with the delicious coloured licorice in between, I'll eat those. They're nice. Still not my jam, but they're nice. And that equates very easily to, like, every movie review I've ever written is just like, you know, if I don't like something, like, it might not be to my taste, but I'll certainly try and bring out the good points in it.
Yeah.
And plus Bill Murray. Like, new Space Jam doesn't have Bill Murray.
Oh, it doesn't have it.
I don't think I want to watch it. If you
might
don't have Bill Murray,
better. Who knows? Who knows?
Could have Jordan. Could have.
Do you think Luca will be in Space Jam 3?
Oh, for sure. It'd have to be, right? It'd have to be Luca, Zion,
Steph Curry, that was the other person I was thinking. Because kids love Steph Curry.
Oh yeah, kids absolutely love Steph Curry. Probably something about shooting bricks, right?
But I'll definitely say this: kids love Luca because my kid is 2, nearly turning 3, and she's like Luca obsessed. Every game that we watch, she's like, "When's Luca coming on?" Even if the Mavericks aren't playing, she's like, she just wants to watch Luca. So
Is it because he looks cuddly? I've actually thought about this, and I know how weird this is going to sound, but the shape of his head, it's very symmetrical, right?
He's a good-looking guy. He has very good genes. Let's just put it that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And extremely good skin, right? Like he looks huggable.
Huggable.
He looks huggable. I can imagine like kids looking at him and going like, teddy bear. He just looks like a fucking teddy bear.
We're really hitting we're getting to the crux of all the major issues in the world of sports right now.
I've been overthinking a lot of shit this week. One of them wasn't my sexuality. Until now, because Luca is kind of cute.
Luca. Speaking
of Luca, and this ties into the next kind of chat. Ooh, what are you gonna buy for Warhol? That's pretty cool. Warhol Lego. That's new. Yes, question mark. So I don't know about everyone else, but I keep going in breaks and I know it's basically gambling, and I get that, but it's worse with the current crop of rookies and the current cards, because it doesn't feel like it did last year, right? Like last year, you were happy to overpay for everything within reason. I mean, I wasn't happy to pay $1,000 for a fucking Court Kings box, or $400 for a Court Kings blaster. Like, no, but like if you were buying into NT breaks, if you were buying into impeccable breaks, if you were buying into noir breaks, you kind of were like, even if I get a semi-bad rookie, like it's still a good pool. And I feel like this year you've got more of a problem this year than you had last year, because your top rookie is LaMelo, which is sliding down in value at this point, because we've come to that point where the finals are going on. So it's kind of understandable that the market's going to take a bit of a softened turn. Not with all of LaMelo's stuff, but the clued in people who would usually spend lots of money on, say, a Zion logo man, I don't think this year are going to be that keen to like outlay the same amount of money on LaMelo logo man potentially. But I feel like the hits are few and far between. Like I watched an impeccable box last night that, I shit you not, had $50 worth of cards come out of a $2,000 box, or $3,000 or whatever it is.
Yeah, and that's a major risk of going at those high-end breaks. Like you can absolutely stink it up, definitely.
I mean, do we think it's because of the rookie crop or what? Because I think part of it is kind of the perception on the rookie class. Like people still value Killian Hayes to be like a middle rookie, even though he didn't really get to show his potential in the last season, which is good for me in a way, because it means that next season when Killian Hayes starts hitting bangers and doesn't get injured, hopefully, that his cards will see a rise, and I'll be able to like say, look at all this cool stuff I've got. But I mean, when you're looking at guys like Precious Achua, who just sort of like is on the lower end of the rookies, but is played fairly well, or at least okay. But I just feel like if you hit those autos, it doesn't feel like when you were hitting Darius Garland last year. I don't feel like we have a Rui like coming out of nowhere type rookie. I don't feel like we have any of that stuff, and it just makes me feel kind of bad going in breaks like for this year's stuff, because I do want this year's stuff, but at the same time it's like, where's the value? Like, are we just screwing ourselves?
Yeah.
I wouldn't push back on that, but I suppose my viewpoint is just a little bit different, because how can I say this? I think last year, like the market was so crazy hot, we probably weren't making as rational decisions as we're probably making now. And I feel like, no, I really feel like that maybe people are 12 months smarter. Let me put it to you that way,
Yes.
right?
Well,
But
this is a
but
funny
that doesn't
point
mean
that I.
that.
This is a funny.
But where I will push back on you though is the actual draft class from this year. I actually think this year's draft class is better than 17-18. So think about what happened to 17-18
that's not
product, right? 17-18 product was like cheap as anything. And then after a couple of years, it went up. And I think this year's product was overpriced at the start, but you can actually buy boxes now cheaper than what you're pre-ordering for, which totally drives me crazy. But that is the current reality. And actually, if you're going on eBay now, you're looking for like Prism Blasters, you can get them back to Australia for like less than $100 Aussie. And
you can get them on StockX for like $90 or less.
I don't trust StockX personally, but like if you think about that in general, like that to me like says something, about the market. So maybe actually, things have corrected itself a little bit. So if you're talking about going into breaks, let's just say you go into a random break, I actually think this year's draft has got like really, really good value down from 8 to 20. Because I
kind of think that, so there's two things here. The first one is that I agree. It's a point that I keep making about people are more educated now. Look at Prism Base for a very, very good example. People are more educated. That LeBron base card that everyone was going fucking monkey mental over was $300 at one point, and now it's like what, $50, $60?
Yeah, which is probably about what it should be.
Yeah, exactly.
$50 is probably still, probably still a bit over, but like that's fine. It's not 10 times over, right?
People are now realizing like, okay, so I should be looking at numbered variant stuff. Like even Prism Silvers are fine, but you would rather try and get something numbered for that player rather than the silver variant or the mojo variant.
At $400.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then getting that graded and sitting on it for a little while. The one thing that I'm absolutely loving about this rookie class is guys like Patrick Williams and snapping up like really undervalued, undercosted cards on, and as much as people hate saying, buying off eBay, chat is, I should fix that. Tsunami Pappy. Right. Contenders Blasters, don't even get me started on Contenders. Fucking waste of money product. Good that we're getting it. But yeah, like, I think people are getting more educated, which is what caused the market to soften. I don't necessarily see it as a bubble burst, but, the prices came down pretty quick when people started realizing, oh shit, like, a Hoops Blaster that people were selling for craziness, $220 for a Hoops fucking blaster, insanely fast came down to $60. Like, Prism blasters are seeing the same change. They were like $200, $250. EB dropped their stuff, and then a whole bunch of them flooded into the US market as well. Because, Panini have been saying it forever, like, we're going to put all of the retail stuff up by like $10 US, and we're going to flood the market with it. Like, we're going to produce heaps more of it because, we're sick of the scalpers, and the only way for us to kill the scalpers is to kill the product. Which means that hobby boxes are unfortunately still too expensive, in my opinion, for the most part. Like, when we're looking at Prism, hobby is still like around the 2K mark. Gone are the days that they are $700. Gone are the days that they are $1,000. This is currently the new norm, and I think that that'll drop even more. Like, I think we'll see Prism boxes selling at around 1.5K for Prism hobby.
US or Australian?
I think Australian. I think we'll see it drop down that low. Eventually.
I'd be surprised if it goes down that low.
I'd be happy.
Yeah, I'd be happy too, right? But
we see what's happening with Court Kings, right? Like, Court Kings used to be originally a budget hobby box at like $150 per box, originally. That was the idea behind Core Kings, is that it was the kind of middle tier, cool budget box that you could buy. Last year they hit like $1,000. This year they came out at like pre-ordering at around $600. I was the idiot who ordered one at $600 because I was like, I wanted to break a Core Kings box, and it's a hobby box that I've not been able to break before because I just never got my hands on one.
That's the worst.
And now they're selling it like $420. So the worst part is knowing that there's a couple of different stores out there who, and it's no fault of their own. I want to just preface this because I know people are going to point this out and point at me and go, you're bad for bringing this up. But the market dictates what a store is going to sell their stock for. And I want to make that really fucking clear. It's not the store wanting to screw over their customers, but the store isn't going to sell you fucking boxes for $200 under market so you can flip them, because that is stupid. They're going to go, what is the market? Let's make it slightly cheaper than the market. Let's put some out there. Let's try and sell some off and see how we go. Let's sell off a couple of cases at a good price. Let's bring in new customers, because that is the aim of a fucking business. Just before anyone brings it up and says, well, but cherry prices, it's like, you know what? Fuck off with your bullshit. Like, those businesses are out there to, number one, make money, number two, bring in new customers, number three, service their current customers. And that's what they do. And they do it fucking well. That's why they are so big. That's why they are in the market. That's why they haven't closed down. That's why every idiot who says that a store is overpriced is wrong, because no, they're priced to the market. They're not overpriced. And that's one thing that we need to fucking acknowledge. Sorry, I need to get that off my chest. I saw somebody else the other day in a break group that I've now just like left and blocked the owner of, because I was like, I'm not going to engage with people who are just constantly like, fucking this particular shop is low, always expensive, and like that's low cherry prices. And it's just like, how are you even servicing your patrons? How are you servicing the community itself? Like, who do you want to be in the community if you want to sit here and shit on about that stuff? Like, you want change? Be the fucking change. Like, get as big as them and then sell under them. Sell, and fucking change the world, which you're not going to do. So put your fucking money where your mouth is and just shut up and go away.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. But that's the thing. Like, I suppose consumers don't always see that perspective. And anybody that runs their own business knows that it's not easy to make a buck, and businesses are in business to make money.
Exactly.
And to survive. I think retail's done it tough, especially over the last 12 to 18 months. And it's unfortunate the consumer is inherently built to think about what's best for the consumer. But good point.
Yeah, exactly. So in other news, HGA has opened up to non-queued submissions, which is great. So they've taken their queue out. What isn't so great is that it took almost 2 days to actually fill all those subs that they opened up. Does anyone think that really shitty, horrible video that they did may have hurt them in the eyes of consumers a little bit? I mean, because if you haven't subbed to HGA before, and you come across what is effectively the internet meme of, "Hi, this is our company. I am not a professional speaker, and I'm clearly reading off a sheet. And here's this terrible camera angle." Like, that's
the camera angles are the least of their worries. I'm sorry.
That video was terrible. And at least Tyler has come out going, like, we've heard you. We know the video is bad. We're going to redo it and get somebody in that's outside. Which, thank you, Tyler. That's what you should have done in the first place.
Hire someone to shoot a promotional video for your product. There's a good idea.
You're a millionaire, and you should have had the reins on this in the first place. Just to say. Now, I did grade some stuff with HGA that we're going to rip open soon. So, look, they've got my confidence anyway, because I'm going to send them shit.
Did you send it off before you saw the video? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually thought it was a piss take video
I
from like a
thought
comedy
it was,
show
and
or
then
something.
I realized pretty quickly that it wasn't a piss take at all, and I was like, oh, they're serious.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
those old internet meme ones, you know, the ones who are like, you know, hi,
yeah.
this is a photo album. You can put photos in it. You can buy this cool photo album for $9.95. It's great. Like,
And not to like I haven't seen many videos for grading companies, but the idea like imagine you don't know
don't
what
think I've
goes
seen
on.
any. Except
But
for
you
like
don't know
the
you don't
PSA
know what
ones.
goes on behind the doors, right? You don't know how that magic number comes out. Don't show somebody that's just like in a clearly not sanitized environment that's just you're like, oops, someone's dropped a card.
Look, I'm not so worried about
Yeah.
that, right? Because you can't. Oh my god, people
But
are
if you're
fucking
going to
dumb.
sell your grading services and you're going to put a video out to market it, wouldn't you want some clean looking, top of the range, everything's in like dust free environments and everything? It needs to look like a super scientific lab of sorts.
Does it
Something
though?
out of a movie.
Because I
Not
can tell you
not my
this right
grandmother's
now.
basement that hasn't been cleaned and is stacked with newspapers.
I would
But
rather have a
Like where they're making the
realistic.
COVID vaccine, you know?
that's
Yeah,
it.
I'd rather have a realistic look at a grading company like the Sports Card Investor did for PSA, right?
Yep.
Which was pretty much the same except with better voice acting. Let's be honest. Um, and you know they claim to be professionals or whatever, but like you can't wear gloves while you are grading. That shit does not work. The fact that people were calling that out, and I was like, do you know how hard gloves are to handle cards with? Like if I see
but
a
for
dude,
the video, just for the video.
no, if I see a dude using gloves handling cards, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, please, I'm not going in any of your breaks. I will not go in your breaks because you might be thinking that that's taking the oil off your hands is not going to be getting on the cards. But something far worse is happening. And that is that the tactile touch that you have with fingers is not the same as you have when you are wearing gloves, regardless of how thin those gloves are. You are going to damage those cards whether you like it or not. Gloves are rubber, they will stick to card. Not only that, gloves have residue. Gloves have powdery residue on them that will fuck up cards real bad. It fucking blows my mind when I see somebody handling cards with gloves. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, just don't. Like, this is not something you need to do to keep the card in pristine condition. You can handle a card with your fucking hands. It's fine.
So legit question, what do like PSA, BGS dudes do when they're handling cards? Do they wear gloves or do they just clean their hands before they start?
Clean their hands before they go. Yeah, like everyone else. There is as
they
far
roll
as I'm
up
aware,
their
there is
sleeves,
no
they put down
company-
their hamburger, and then they just get stuck into it.
Yeah, exactly. Put down the fucking KFC like I did this afternoon, you know, wipe their ass on the card and it's graded. Like, cool. Yeah. So there's usually a sanitizing station, for the most part, but yeah, again, none of them wear gloves because you can't. Like, there's nothing worse for cards than wearing gloves. Nothing.
Interesting.
Oh, it just grinds my gears, and I saw people like bitching about it because of that, and I'm like, why don't you address the real thing here? This guy is a multi-billionaire who for some reason didn't have the forethought to step in front of this and go, we shouldn't do this video in-house. We should get a professional company. And I get it.
In all seriousness, what do you think his strategy was? Why did you think he chose to make that type of video?
I think the only reason he chose to do it is because he was excited to show everyone the layout of HGA and give it a little bit of coverage, right? Which is fine, but shows a lack of thought behind what would happen. When you are the head of a company, and I fucking love the fact that Tyler is out in front of everything he does usually, that he's in comments, that he's on Facebook, that he's responding to Twitter posts, that he is basically doing the social manager's work, which blows my fucking mind. A QA issue comes up, Tyler's there to like champion and go, you know what? DM me, let's figure this out. We'll get it worked out for you. Like, you know, has something gone wrong? Let me know. I will fix it for you. He's there and contactable, which is completely different to any other grading company I've ever seen. Like, who the fuck even owns PSA at this point? You know what I mean? Like, none of those people who are invested in PSA get out in front of PSA and go, oh, you've had a fucking problem where we completely, absolutely fucked up your tag. Like, let me fix this for you. You know, that level of customer service is rare these days from any business. Like, you could go to a McDonald's and get a fucked up cheeseburger. They're not going to replace it. They don't give a fuck. They're going to step in front of it. It's a cheeseburger. What do they care? They sell millions of them every day. But Tyler's there to go like, hey, you've had a problem and I want to, you know, I want to show you that we're serious about fixing it. So with the video, it was lacking of forethought, but it was clearly just like, look at the cool shit we're doing. I want to show this off, which is cool. Yeah, but again,
that probably speaks to more to my values of like, it's not so much the production, it's more actually what you're trying to, you know, communicate or, you know, bring that message across. And maybe sometimes I find these more amateur videos even more authentic than someone who's got this extremely polished, you know, very well done with a beautiful model holding the cards. Like that to me, that would make me want to go with that the grading company more. So
I mean, I don't want to see the model holding the cards, to be honest, because that would just drive me fucking crazy. But it's the problem.
I think I'm in the middle there. I'm like, I don't want premium, but I don't want cards being splayed out all over desks and getting picked up randomly. And
let me put it to you this way: do you think that the video was not authentic?
It was too authentic. There's the word. Yeah, it makes me scared to grade with them.
I'm not scared to grade with them as such, but in the age of the internet and how deeply entrenched in internet culture I am, that's where the problem is. Like, I've done lots of social media work. You know, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been a content creator for the last like 15 years, both writing, you know, reviews, doing Magic the Gathering stuff, doing this, doing, you know, playing other card games, writing, you know, deck lists out and tournament reports and all that sort of stuff, and doing videos. And I'm just like, I don't script myself. I really don't, because I fucking hate it. But that means that I've learned how to talk. And if you create a video and you want me to watch it, and your video sounds like somebody reading off a shitty script that has zero, like it's just dot points of like, not even dot points, like a full explanation of like, this is what this thing does, and it sounds like you're reading off a piece of paper, I'm going to be so less interested in dealing with A, you, B, your company, and C, ever watching anything you do again. You know? And I generally give everyone like a second chance. And if it was a secondary video that came out that was the same, I'd just be like, I'd be up in Tyler's grill going like, you know what? Don't even fucking pay me. Just fucking give me all the raw video and I'll just do it for you. Like, I'll fix it for you because, it just drives me nuts. And sure, it might be a little bit of me being, you know, a bit of a fucking internet snob, I guess. But again, internet culture is a harsh bitch, and I've been on the internet for so long and entrenched in that culture that I know exactly how harsh this can be. And putting out something like that for a company where you were so young, like, because they're only a year in, and you're trying to build up that customer confidence, like, you're trying to be authentic, I get it, but at the same time, there should have been a bit more thought about, like, what that blowback will be because of the internet. And I feel like Tyler isn't one that kind of is that entrenched in the internet that he would have had the forethought. But in saying that, if you've got a social media manager, why didn't your social fucking media manager step up and go, you know what, we could do this, or, and hear me out, we can spend like a couple of $1,000s and do a really nice video. And it doesn't need to be like hokey pokey, and it can still be authentic. We'll just get somebody who can like actually like read these lines. We can get somebody who can act out these lines nicely so that it sounds great. You know, so the camera work, we can get like a real camera person to like do the shots so it's nice, and we can still use all the same stuff that we're using, you know, and we'll be able to get like a better sense of the direction of the video from maybe a video director. spend a
I
couple of
want to see some
$1,000s.
ads made like of Better Call Saul. You know, when Saul makes those ads for TV and he's like, Better Call Saul.
I
We
never
need
watched
that.
it.
What?
Yeah, I never watched it, and I never watched Breaking Bad either. Yeah,
Wow.
I was
Add that
too
to your
busy.
watch list.
I was too busy. I had stuff to do.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many TV shows. I won't hold that against you. I mean, it's
No.
pretty entertaining though.
That was great.
All right, so now we've got all that covered, and we've ranted a little bit, and we've talked. I think it's time to do some mail, yeah?
Yes.
'Cause we're-
Yes, let's do some mail.
Kind of running out of time. We had the little bits of stuff. So who did this come from? This was boxbreak.com.au, I think. Just some stadium club base that even I don't care about. There's
You got basketball cards.
Yep. Jose Garcia rookie cards ×2. And a parallel Sunny Gray.
Nice.
Don't care. I don't care. I was looking for hits, and to be honest, didn't really get them. And that's fine.
Didn't deliver.
No. This one did, however. This is from West Oz Cards. I love breaking with West Oz. I'm just going to say quietly. Because I feel like, for some reason, I kind of get more hits. Although the guy from West Oz really needs to like fix his setup because his audio is really terrible. I don't even know what I'm looking for in Select Baseball, to be honest. I just did it because it was Select Baseball, and it was like whatever. And
I like Select as a general, just as a template, like the way the cards are laid out.
Yeah, Premier level. I can't even remember what the difference was, and I don't really care. No, I can't read it. So I got some giant stuff because it was a random. It's fine.
But there's 3 tiers. There's the concourse, which is like the base card. The premier level is like the next one above, and then you've got the court side, which is 2 per case.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so the court side is the primo.
It's a shorter print card, yeah. And then out of that, you can still get your prisms on top of that. So if you get like a prism court side, that's like a whole lot of delicious. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's. Oh, so that's a premier level. Okay.
And that's like the middle one.
Yeah.
And the concourse is the base. They just called it. They should have just called it base, but they just gave it like a fancy name.
Yeah. So there's your fancy base, and there's your premier level.
Yeah. Beautiful.
It's just not top loaded, so I'm sure it's worth exactly nothing. I do like the way that West Oz actually like packages stuff because it's generally pretty good. Got some rookies. Yes. Estevan Florio. Don't know who this guy is. Really don't.
All I've got is he's a baseballer.
Yeah, and that's Concourse Boring level. And then we've got Albert Abreu, which is also a Concourse level. Oh, I can barely fucking read it. Oh my god. I mean,
you gotta
I know
get your eyes checked, man.
Oh, dude, I'm legally blind. No fault of a joke. I have keratoconus, so it's a thing. I've been dealing with blindness since I was like 25. So Albert Abreu, and a Devi Garcia. But the cool thing that I got was this, and I think that's just a concourse, but it's a pretty colored one.
Oh, nice.
So that's pretty cool. Estevan. And that's numbered, right? To 20? Yes, to 20.
I was going to say, it looks like one of those 20 to 25 tie-dye looking things.
It's cool. So that was an interesting thing to hit, because I literally was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm looking for. And it was random team. And quite frankly, I always prefer PYTs over randoms, because I want to know what I'm getting. Especially if it has Cabrian Hayes in it. Oh, the next one came from a community member. That's a pretty good one, actually. This was from Scott Ingram. So thank you so much, Scott, for sending through and indulging us more in base hoops.
The count. Oh, yeah, we're getting a ticker. We're getting a ticker.
So more base hoops. Yeah, I haven't counted, to be honest. Some base Donruss Killian Hayes as well. But the thing he really wanted me to have. Oh, it's upside down. So we got an arriving now, which is cool.
Nice.
But another green laser.
What?
Which I'm always about. Especially when it's my boy Killian.
They did the lasers really well in Donruss this year.
So well. Like, to the point where it's just like surprising that the product is just so terrible, to be honest. Like, when you're looking at like what was it called? Points in the paint? No, power in the paint, right? It's like, why is this not a full foil insert? And then you see the lasers and you're like, why isn't it like a laser or something?
Yeah, that would look really good, actually.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that would.
This is going to be my complaint of the week. Please don't ever send your cards that I buy off you like this. Really? You stuck a Killian Hayes in the back? Wow, that just feels...
That's rough.
Rough. Cool. Anyway, we just get that off. Because...
16, 17.
That's nice, man.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, I got that for like 30 or 35 bucks, I think. But I wanted it to go with my diamond. So now Killian has his non-diamond buddy to go with him. And these are numbered as well. This is numbered to 49. But Immaculate's just like thick and pretty. And I've gone from having like no Immaculate cards to like both the Killian Hayes. Can't believe I would send a Killian Hayes base. Just what is the go here? Anyway. Let's just get rid of this crap. Oh, okay, yep. So this was another one. This was bought from Facebook. So I do have some stuff coming from this seller. But here is a Winter Hoops patch card.
That is a nice looking patch.
The cool sweater card. Unfortunately, it's like all the rest of the shit this year, where it's like, you know, not specifically been worn by anyone. But you know what? I don't care. It's cool.
Someone knitted that for him.
Yeah. But the real reason that I bought off this person was because I wanted me some more numbered toys. As we'll discuss who's on the back in a second, because I don't even know who the fuck it is. So that's I think to 99. Yes. And I have no idea who Tony Parker is.
Do you mind flipping that over so I can have a look at the back, man?
Good night.
Good night.
So what's the card then? He's comparing Heir to the Throne. Okay, so he's saying that Killian's the next Tony Parker.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's pretty
Those
cool.
cards are really cool.
Who's Tony Parker? I don't understand.
So Tony Parker was a point guard for the Spurs. He won two championships with the Spurs. And he was also a French point guard. So I think that's the connection
that
there.
Would be the connection then, yeah.
Because Killian is also French. So
yeah. And this one is 49 of 49.
Oh, nice.
There we go. So, you know, eBay 101, yo.
Yeah, those cards are awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm just like, I really like them. They're really hard to grade, I know that, but I'm probably going to send them to HGA for reasons we'll get into soon. And speaking
of
hard to grade...
The Halliburton's got Fox on the back of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which for me is like the perfect PC card.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of amazing, 99, we have the blue from Crown. And this thing, you can't tell, but this all in here is actually cracked ice. Like...
Oh, that's cool.
I guess people can tell now that I've got NBN, actually, so it's probably really nice and clear. Just thinking about it. Bought some stuff for my PC. This I couldn't say no to. I had to have it to 25. National Treasures Larry Johnson penmanship is so nice. Love National Treasures.
How dare he wear LaMelo's number?
Don't get me started. I was blown away. I didn't realize that sooner. The real thing though. Oh boy, slipped out of its case. The real thing though is wanting to just chat a little bit about what this is. I did chuck these both into one touches, by the way, just because like I think I'll probably send them for grading because I want both of them to come back in slabs. But yeah, so Upper Deck did some buybacks. I think these ones were 2001, 2002. I can't remember. But it's not often that you see these buybacks anywhere. And another one has just popped up on fucking eBay.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to have to sell some cards and get the one on eBay as well. Because it's 1 of 5. And it's in the Hornets uniform. This is 5 of 5 and it's in the Knicks uniform. So what happened was Upper Deck basically bought back a whole bunch of singles from people all around the place. Stuck a sticker on the back. Got the athlete to sign it and then put it away basically. Then you would open your booster of SP or whatever, and then you would be lucky enough to find a buyback redemption, and you would send that in for one of the redemption cards.
That's awesome.
And yeah,
that's actually really cool.
Very cool. It's very cool. One of the things that people might not know, and one thing to always take note of, is that this number here will always match your card. Okay? And I say this because I have seen fakes out in the wild before, where people thought that they were buying a buyback and this card didn't match for some reason. So if your card doesn't match, do not buy it. Do not buy it. But yeah.
That would be really labor intensive to make a program like that happen.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I mean, like, we know about the Lamelo incident that's happening at the moment, right? And I want to put this to you before I open the HGA package. What does everyone think about redemptions? Were they a good idea? They've been running for a very long time. Ever since, I think, I'm not entirely sure, but I kind of feel like Upper Deck might have been the first company that offered redemptions. It could have been all the way back to Topps, to be honest, with baseball. I'm not sure. But, well, I mean, in any form, when it comes to like cards.
It's like in the 90s, they had redemptions that were just very different.
Yeah, they were. I mean, look at the Shaq trade card, right? Like that was just for a Shaq rookie, pretty much.
Like there was a Team USA redemption set in was it 92, 93 Upper Deck or something like that?
93, I think.
Yep. But that's you know what I mean? Like it's congratulations and nothing's numbered or anything. It's like send this off and you get a set of cards back.
Congratulations for your one of like 500,000 produced that we're not going to tell you that's how many there are because like, you know.
Well, that's okay because there were 500 million copies of the base produced.
Well, I mean, there was no internet back then. So nobody knew. But I just feel like the further that stuff gets put to redemption, like, I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like in order, I think the purpose of the redemptions in this day and age is different to what it used to be.
Yes.
Definitely.
So the old school redemption was, here's a series of cards that one card will redeem. Versus, we couldn't really get all these autographs, so we're going to put a scratchy token in that you send off and hope that you get the card back.
Yeah.
And keep the product rolling out to customers.
Yeah, exactly.
Because otherwise the releases just wouldn't happen, right? I think that's the pragmatic part of it.
Yeah, it's a means to an end.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to make, is like, you either delay the product pretty much indefinitely, which is, you know, not going to work.
Not ideal.
Or you put in redemptions and you go, you know what, like, this person will sign eventually, hopefully, but like, if you get your redemption in, like, we'll try and fulfill it to the best of our ability.
When you get that special Panini box, though, it is kind of fun opening that up in the mail. I'm not totally against the redemption program.
When I got my Carson Edwards Spectra back, I was just like, because I wasn't even expecting it. It literally turned up on my doorstep, and then I got a shipping notification. And it was
And
like,
it ships fast too. Like they don't use the cheap shipping option.
no, they don't cheap out. That's what makes it really good. Like, if you were
They
going
make
to
a lot
cheap
of
out,
money. They don't need to cheap out.
exactly. If you were going to cheap out on a redemption, like, no. Are you going to make me pay to redeem this? Like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
Nope.
there are companies in the past who have made you pay for the redemption sending, like sending it to them and then getting it back. I'm absolutely going to go on Panini's side and say they're doing at least the right thing by saying, you know what? Scratch this thing off, redeem it online. You don't have to pay us to ship it to you. We acknowledge that we couldn't have this card for you in the product, so we will pay for shipping. And it's like, you know what? That's kind of cool.
Which would cost them a lot of money. If you think about how many cards would be in the redemption program and how many products they've got on the market, like it's, and they're pretty generous too of like even redeeming expired codes. Like that's something else I think should be acknowledged. Yeah,
exactly. All right. So
the only thing I'm not super happy about with the redemption program is like how you get cards back. Like it'd be really good if you could choose, like they had like a special, room you could go into and you could sort of go through and choose a couple of cards. I think that would be awesome because I had a De'Aaron Fox redemption that somehow didn't get filled and I got a Dario Saric RPA. And I was just like,
yeah,
I can't actually think.
They would have stuff left over that they haven't used for whatever. And I'm sure that they probably use it for like charity or something. But like, you would think that, if you can't get it redeemed, like, here's a list of what we've got in stock. You know what I mean? Like, rather than like, no, we'll just give you something shitty and random. Like, you'll either hit the jackpot or we'll just give you like a way trade down. And like, I don't want to trade down. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I suppose they have a points program, don't they? But the points, like for what you get for points,
the points program is just.
I've got 250 points sitting on my Panini account from like Optic Football that I just have not. Like, what am I gonna do with it? Like, get a really shitty auto for 250 points, or just leave it sit there and then, try and get more points, which means like getting no hits in a fucking box.
Exactly.
If you could swap it for like NFT packs, that would be awesome because I feel like that will be a really nice little thing. But
it would make sense. You know what, Panini, just do it. Just fucking, instead of points, just go, here's an NFT code to redeem on an NFT product. Like on a
that could be the future
NFT
of redemptions, really.
It could. Don't even joke. It could be. So HGA, I submitted this sometime in March. It didn't leave Australia until April because Australia Post are a bunch of fucking idiots. If you are sending anything to the United States, have a chat with your post office about postal options. Try and find the best postal option for you. Or go with a fucking courier. You know what? Go with a fucking courier. As much as I want to see Australia Post not be breaking down and disseminated and sold off, if my package to America is supposed to be going via air and it sits there for 3 weeks before you fucking ship it, you should be telling me why. And that's what happened with this, because I was tracking it because I wanted to see what was going on. Because it's all part and parcel of this review of HGA. Cool box. Strong. Like it. 10 out of 10. Okay. So. Oh, fuck me.
How many cards did you get done?
4. The redemption. The queue at the time was for 5 cards. I decided to only get 4. What's on the bottom here? Okay. Right, cool. So let's start with probably this one, which is the less enticing. And we'll work our way up to this one here on top, which, as everyone can see, is a Michael Jordan scoring king. Because, 3 of them were a test card and one of them was like, why the fuck not? It's probably going to get a 6. Alright. So. I had to.
Who's that guy? Who's that guy?
Know, right? It's Larry Johnson 2.0.
Oh, Larry. We'll just call him Larry then.
Yeah, without the personality yet. Let's be honest.
And he's only half the number to Larry.
Yeah. So straight away, these slabs feel heavier than other slabs.
And they shipped it in a protector bag?
Yes, everything's in a protector
bag. That's unbelievable.
Bag. Every single one of them is in a protector bag.
Why doesn't PSA and BGA do this?
Well, Why would they? Why would they spend the money on their customers that are spending lots of fucking money to grade with them? Saying.
Okay, well, that's a major plus for me.
Major plus, because it means that I don't have to find bags to put it up on a shelf. Like, it's already bagged. That's already cool. I'm digging it.
Great.
All right, so let's just fucking do it. Well, I'm not going to complain about that. A 9.5 is really cool. What did we get? Corners, surface, edges 9.5, and a 10 on centering. Which I kind of assumed that that's what was going to happen. I'm going to tell you right now, these slabs, I'm just going to take a quick squizzy squeeze. The card does shift around a little bit.
Oh no! Don't tell me that.
Just a little bit, not like huge amounts, but that makes me a little bit worried that it's not tight in there. But I mean, what are you gonna do? Sleeve it and chuck it in? So that's a thing. Just like ever so slightly shifting around in the case. So that's something to bear in mind. They don't feel like they stack as well as PSA slabs do. You know how PSA slabs kind of stack on each other, which is the kind of the groove to kind of like sit on top of each other.
The same brand tend to stack together, don't they?
And these don't
I don't
feel
know.
like
I've
they
only
stack
ever got
at all.
BGS and PSA.
Yeah, which is fine. It's fine. Like, it's not a big problem. I have no idea. I think I probably went with a card match on this one. A card match splash, which is why we have this
Oh, you actually get to choose what
you can choose your label. You can even choose to pay an extra 10 USD to get a custom label. Which is great, because at some point I want to do that, and I just want to find like the most colorful card, and I'm gonna say I want a fucking unicorn on it, and I want to see if they do it. Just because if you're gonna give me the option, I'm gonna want to do it.
Why not?
Yeah. So 9.5, pretty happy with that. Like, you know, base iron that I sent off with the intention of like, well, I guess I'll just slab something and maybe sell it if it's good. Not like I collect iron. The next one, however, is a redback hoops from Hobby, of Tyrese Halliburton. This was a test one as well, more or less, because I went through some break stuff that I got back and found that I had a redback Tyrese Halliburton. I did not actually know it was a redback until I'd finished my stream. And then I was going through stuff and I was like, oh, actually that's a redback. I should do something with that. So I decided to get it graded. So just
for people out there, the redback is 1 per box, so actually it's quite a short printed card.
It is, yeah.
Oh wow.
And let's see how we do. Another 9.5. Okay, cool. So what did we get here? 9.5 corners, surface, centering, edges 9.0. Okay, fine. It's a cool 9.5 to have, you know. Makes it pretty short print. 9.5. It's got a decent tag. I like the tag. I must have gone with straight match card, which is cool because it really does match the card quite well.
Yeah. I know what Shane's going to say about this. He won't like these labels at all, but I quite like it how it matches down the card. That's good.
Doesn't have to like it.
I'm 50-50 on it at the moment. It's interesting.
This I wanted to get done more or less for me. Probably for something to sell later on as well. So this is a Magic Johnson, I think an 88? Might be an 89. I think this is an 89. We'll see. It'll be on the tag anyway. How am I going to do this? So I bought a whole bunch of these that are currently sitting in Ship My Cards. So I am probably going to get more of these done just because I love it. Look, I love these cards. I love the way they look. But I especially want a whole bunch of them that are graded so I can sell some stuff. And hey, all right, I didn't think we'd get a 9.0 on this, to be honest. So we've got corners 9.0, edges 9.0, centering 9.5. That's fair. a bit shifted left to right, to be honest. And a surface that was an 8.0. Because these are very, 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 very bad on surface usually. Anyone who tells you different is wrong. Quite frankly, these are, because of their age, really hard to grade. We're talking like, what, 40 years now? 89, 90 Fleer. Yeah.
The 30-year-old card.
Yeah, 30-year-old card.
Yep.
Brainwork.
Quite amazing, really.
Yeah. For it to get a 9.0,
yeah,
like, is amazing. Now, if anyone
what did you think it was going to grade?
I thought it was probably going to get an 8, to be honest.
Yeah.
Again, because these are so usually very condition sensitive.
You think they compensate for the age of the card, like how they grade it? Like that's a 9 of that era?
I mean, they might do. It would make sense if they do, to be honest. But I'm not really sure because they haven't really come out and said it.
The older cards, they'd have to have a baseline of what the actual what a mint surface for that card or that actual set was.
Yeah.
Because last year's Prism, like some of the 10s that were coming back, you could visually see they were like off-centered, but I'm pretty sure they like allowed for the fact that every single one was like printed off-center.
Yeah.
Had I have known that, maybe I wouldn't have sold that Jamarant silver that I cracked. Not that it's worth anything now anyway. Okay, so this is the tasty snack. So as you can tell from the back of the slab, you cannot tell from the back what type of tag you've decided to get, which I think is cool because you don't need to. It's the back, right? Like, how often are you going to look at the back? Now, this I thought, and as you can probably see here from the condition of the back, surface is pretty good, but those corners and those edges, not great. I assumed we'd probably get a 6 from this. As everyone knows, Jordan Scoring Kings are very tough to grade. Even if you crack one out of a pack now, it's definitely not going to be a 10. They stick to things. They stick in packs. They've been kicked around for the last 30 odd years, and let's just do it. Yeah, that's not a 6. That is not a 6.
7.5 on the corners.
That's okay. I mean, I'll take it. Wow.
So, I mean, we were talking about this on the pod in a sort of a roundabout way a couple of weeks ago. It's like, what's your feel now? You've got these cards back from them. How do you feel about the legitimacy of the grading numbers, and how do you verify that what they've said is accurate?
Well, having a look at some of the other stuff that they've graded through the HGA groups, they seem to be very difficult to get a 10, but they also seem to be very harsh on grading a lot of stuff. So I'm actually surprised that this Jordan got an 8.5.
Okay.
Again, to me, I thought that this would probably hit a 6. But this is my first time getting a sub back from a grading company. So
I'm just seeing 7.5 and noticeably on camera seeing white corners.
Yeah.
On sort of a lower resolution screen, right?
Yeah. Like not even seeing it in hand, you can noticeably tell that the corners are damaged, which to me doesn't signify 7.5. It signifies something around that 6 mark, which is what you were getting at.
But I mean, even with corners of 6, I wonder how they work it out, because let's say the corners were a 6, would that drag this down to, I'd be guessing
a 7,
a 7.5 or a 7, right?
Yeah,
like that's how the maths would have to work out. Probably a 7.5, which is fine.
That's how it goes for BGS. So if you get say 6 for corners, the highest you can go overall on the card is 7.
Correct. You can only go one higher than the lowest grade.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
No matter if everything's a 10 and you get a 2, it's a 3.
I like the fact that this has a centering of 9.5. I'm going to be honest. That seems pretty on point, because most of the Scoring Kings, even though they're borderless, you can tell if they're horribly off by the logo man on the side here. That's a really easy way to tell if your scoring kings is horribly miscut because of the amount of space that's usually there.
Of course, yeah.
Because I've seen some of these be fairly horribly off cut, and people not even realize, and it's like, oh, you paid how much for that? $900 for it? Oh, I feel so sorry for you. But that's just a wisdom thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, as I was saying, like the corners and the edges, I thought would drag this way down.
Yep.
And I'm pleasantly surprised that this is an 8.5. Like it definitely has some whitening to the corners for sure. I mean, you can absolutely see it.
I'm actually curious to see the header, the plaque up close, like in IRL rather than on a screen.
It looks.
I'm still trying to figure out if I like it or I don't like it.
No, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. And I think I probably
like, it's funny that the PSA is the benchmark apparently.
And yet
that is the most. I can't stand those labels. I love the BGS labels for the higher end stuff, but yeah.
I don't mind these labels.
I really
like how it matches down with the card. Like that really speaks to me, actually. I love it. Like if you just say you got a Boston card and you get like a green prism, and then the prism color matches that. Like I really enjoy that. So that kind of like speaks to me, you know.
Yeah.
So that's
like the purple Hellburn this year is just like, that's a really good looking card.
That's a really good looking card. I think I made a really good choice with that. I almost feel like that I wish that you could just say, you know what, you choose whatever makes the card look better, because I don't know how the fuck you're going to label it. Because going with match card, I didn't know if they would match the outside of the card, which they did, which is great, or whether they were going to do like, you know, a little portion of grey under here somewhere or at the top or something, because it's, you know, down the
so
bottom.
you don't choose the colours that match. You just tick that box, match cards, and then they choose it for you.
They match the card for you, yeah.
What are the outer ones? What are the Zion and the Magic?
I think this would have been Splash Match card, maybe?
Splash Match Team?
It might have been Team, but there's no blue in it, so...
Okay.
Not really sure. This one definitely would have been Splash Match Team, I think. Which is interesting that it's only a little bit of purple.
I think the middle two are probably my favourites as far as the headers go.
Now that one says Mint. That one says Gem Mint 9.5. Interesting. Gem Mint 9.5. And that says Near Mint Mint Plus 8.5. Cool. Well, at least they've got that down pat. Because that was going to be my next question, is like, will we see any gem mints? Of course we will. So I guess...
Pristine 10.
I guess a 9. Yeah, well, apparently Pristine with HGA are like the unicorn, basically. Hard to get, but...
I reckon that's a marketing tactic, to be honest.
Look, it could be, but then again, people have been saying that about PSA lately as well. And it's like, we don't really have the data to back it up. Like, Lane was saying that submissions coming back haven't changed. It's still about, 30% of a bulk submission, coming back. And I've heard that from other graders with PSA as well. So, kind of makes sense that, like, subs are up, but the percentage is still relative to the amount. But with HGA, it could very well be like, well, if we're going to grade something a 10, like it has to be something special and spectacular. But I kind of don't think that they would go out of their way to like restrict 10s just for like clout, basically.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they'd just be like, give us your nicest looking Jordan rookie and we'll give it a fucking 10.
Yeah.
Like, because that's what a greedy company would do. Absolutely. Because that's what I'd do if I was a piece of shit. Thankfully I'm not, but I'm also not a grader. But I'm not.
It'd be interesting. It'd be just interesting to look behind the curtain, I guess.
Exactly. And one sec.
I think if they gave everyone 10s, it would actually hurt their overall market reputation because
correct. It just means it's easy to get.
yeah, and I think coming into the market where it's so heavily, dominated by PSA and then BGS, there's absolute competition there. So if they're just giving out 10s like candies, that I don't think that's a good strategy. Yeah.
So
are we comparing the?
It's bigger than a BGS slab. It's slightly, ever so slightly heavier than a BGS slab though, by just the tiniest bit. It's
interesting.
Definitely very much heavier than BGS. Definitely heavier than PSA. PSA feels like a child's toy in comparison, to be honest.
Yeah.
I also just love showing off my finest era, refractor.
That was a very nice refractor.
It's so good. Yeah, no, it's definitely clearly heavier. It is obviously also going to be slightly bigger than a PSA. Yep. Because PSA is generally, I think, slightly bigger than BGS. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a tiered system, really, if you want to look at it that way. Let's put them up. Only ever so slightly a little bit bigger than PSA. The width, however, is about on point with a BGS. PSA is still tiny.
Yep.
It's tiny in the threesome. Overall opinion, I didn't see any debris in any of the slabs, which is the first thing you should always look at when you get graded cards back, which I don't, because I'm still waiting on my fucking PSA return, because PSA is shit. I say that as generally, please don't take that to heart. Just because the turnaround time.
I'm sure everybody loves waiting for their cards to come back and taking months.
I just know that someone's going to be like, you just fucking hate PSA. And it's like, I clearly don't. I have stuff from PSA. I just hate the tags. But like, I have stuff grading with PSA that's supposed to have been back like, almost 12 months ago. So it'll come back eventually. Overall opinion, I will grade with them again. I absolutely will grade with them again. I dig it. I'm not going to tell you I'm a huge fan yet, because I want to get more stuff graded and see how it feels. A bit of a surprise on the Scoring Kings marking on the grade. I feel like if that went to PSA, it probably wouldn't be an 8.5. But then again, we'll see how my stuff comes back from PSA. No, I don't have any Scoring Kings with PSA people, so don't even ask. But I do want to send them all of my Magic Johnsons and get them all slabbed up like this, because I'll absolutely, if I can get them back in time for Hobby Hangout, I'll have a bunch of these with me, for sure.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, that's really, enjoyable. They feel good. I like the fact that they're heavier. Most people will probably have a complaint about that, but to be honest, like...
Yeah, they look good.
They're good.
I think,
And just so everyone knows, these slabs are actually sourced locally over in the US. They don't go outside of the country for their slabs. It's not a rag on anyone else, just making the comparison.
Yeah, that's cool.
How do you think the market will respond to HDA?
You know what? Slow. Like all new graders. Because you're coming into a market that, everyone else is coming into at the same time, right? Like royalty graders or whatever the fuck they're called that I don't give a shit about. They're another company that are doing like these kind of like, bling type tags, but theirs are more blingy. I found them through Instagram and I looked at all their stuff and I looked at their prices and I was like, fuck no. you want me to pay how much to grade? No, that's not going to happen. I think that there is a chance that at some point they will be considered amongst, some of the top. I don't think they'll ever be the pinnacle. They are great for PC grading for sure, because, if you want your PC to look pretty like I do.
That's what I think about this product, because I feel like, particularly with those custom tags, like you essentially you're taking a punt that the tag that you buy is going to be the one that the person wants to buy on the resale. So that's that was kind of like one of the thoughts that I had. Like, you might really like that, but then that actually might put off somebody from buying it. Whereas PSA, it's such like it's a set recipe that everyone knows and enjoys. So then that's not going to limit the person who would be then buying the next card.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Ed?
Yeah, look, for the PC, I think, I don't know if HGA have thought about this, is when you tick that box, there should be a preview of what each template looks like.
I just assumed there was, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard when it says match card and they don't have the card.
Yes. So they do have a preview of a potential, but it's just a rough generalization. Like these are the like this is how it looks, but it's not based on that particular card, right?
I'd also, if I was running a service like this and people are drawn to, obviously where it's become a discussion point here. So would you go one step further and then, whilst processing the submission, contact the person that's sent it off and said, hey, here's 3 potential headers. Which one do you want?
I imagine they won't do that because then they have to wait on somebody to get back to them.
It just makes the submission take longer.
Yeah.
Or maybe
they've already got the money.
As their software improves, you could literally just like choose the colors you want, choose the font that you want, choose like the splash.
Like,
that's
how they should be doing it. It's not that hard.
That's not impossible, yeah, surely.
It's not even near impossible. It's very easy for somebody to program like those.
You could buy shoes that way. Remember, like Nike ID.
Yeah, and that is exactly it. Nike ID could do it. So why the fuck can't a multi-millionaire like
a little plastic tag inside of a
yeah. And I'm gonna say the next submission is going to include a Larry Johnson beam team.
Oh, sorry about that.
Because why not? And a Larry Johnson Power in the Key, which is a little bit.
I have not seen a Power in the Key in a long time.
I almost bought a Jordan this morning for $300 because I was like, you mean I could grab a Jordan and send it to HGA and try and get match card and see how it comes back?
I'd like to see that on match card.
Yes, exactly. So I might still hunt down a Jordan.
I assume they'll try and match the teal from the uniform, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. Like, could you imagine if they matched the card to the tag and just made it like multicolored awesomeness?
Oh, okay, yeah, like a splash sort of.
All about that. Weird. All about it. But yeah, so those were on the plate, and also, of course, my Shaq rookies. My trade card. So, hilarious. Yeah. But they are. I think this is my next submission, because these 9 are all for me. They are all for me.
So they're PC items, are they, man?
Yeah. I mean, especially the Larry Johnson stuff, like. And I was thinking that maybe I should actually just send my buyback in and see if they'll grade both the buyback and the original redemption card to try and get them like graded together, so they have them both in tagged slabs would be pretty cool. If anything, just to like protect the card, because the card's in. I thought it was damaged. It's actually in really good condition. Cool. All right. Well, that is that. How are we all feeling? Did everyone have fun?
That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. That was a great mail day. I like those tags. I'm actually thinking about a little test submission of my own. So.
Are you thinking a Kobe?
Maybe.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, jerk.
Maybe a Kobe or 2.
And Russell, look, at least you got to see how HGA looks and get more of a feel for it.
Yeah.
I'll as I said, like if you don't submit before Hobby Hangout, I'll probably bring some to Hobby Hangout anyway. But I think I'm definitely going to send some more stuff into them for sure.
Yeah.
I might even hunt down another Scoring Kings.
Definitely worth a cheeky submission.
Mm-hmm. So Russell, where can the fine folks find you and the podcast?
We are on Card School. So basically we're on Facebook, which is if you just search Card School Podcast. We're also on Instagram as Card School Podcast. and we're on BuzzFeed. I could put the links into the video if that's okay.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
I usually do that anyway for people. So
yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I'll do that at the end. And
yeah.
Do you mind if I do a couple of other shout outs?
No, do it.
Yeah, so Shane and Neb have dropped Moneyball, their retail packets as of today, actually, about 3 hours ago, Melbourne time. So they're $100 a packet. There's 100 packets in total, and they've got 3 chases, a Luca, a Trey, and a Tatum. Don't quote me on the Tatum, but yeah. They're at www.moneyballsportscards.com. Yeah.
He says because he's on it right now.
Oh, there you go. You're in.
Because I forgot, and I'm like, oh right, yeah. Let's see if I can.
And I can't not shout out USSCA Sports Cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, please check us out. We're on Facebook.
Oh. If you wanted
everybody's on
Moneyball
Facebook these days.
basketball retail edition, they are gone.
Oh, they've all sold out, have they?
Yeah, they've already sold out.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a useless plug. Well, congratulations, lads.
Congratulations,
Out of
lads.
stock.
You suck that I didn't get one, you pricks.
Good. No, that's a really good outcome. Congrats to the boys.
That's massive. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm
So
sad.
that's his 3 hours. They've all sold out.
Though.
Yeah. No, thanks for having me on, lads, and yeah, thanks for the chat, Ad. Thanks, Al. I really appreciate it.
No worries, man.
It's great having you on.
Do you have anything to plug, Ad, while you're here?
I'm working on a potential regular Sunday morning stream back on Twitch, where I might just kick things off rather than playing video games. I may be having a sift through my PC, maybe choosing a few things to send off to grade.
Ooh.
I don't know, or selecting what I want to put up for sale later in the day. But
well,
yeah.
you know what you need to do before you do that?
Uh-oh. What do I need to do before I do that?
Need to fucking get me on so that we can talk about it.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah. Yeah. The Twitch is I don't know. I feel like you watching me playing Hearthstone is going to be a bit slow for you. So we'll have to organize a day where we can maybe rip it up with something a bit different and then chat some basketball.
Hell yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. And as for me, obviously you can find me over as Chess Breaks. It doesn't matter. Like, whatever. If you are looking at more info on HGA, if you want to know anything else, if you've got any questions, hit me the fuck up, and I will absolutely talk to you about how it felt for me, the price that I paid to get stuff done, how much it was to return, which wasn't as much as I expected. It was about $60 in total Australian, and the time frame, because remember that they deal in business days, not regular fucking days. So if you go with the 60 business days, you're choosing 3 fucking months.
Yes.
You have to be aware.
4 months if it's over Christmas. But anyway.
We'll have you on again at some point, Russell, for sure. We'll work out something in the future to do some sort of like cool crossover shit.
Yeah, I'd love to come back on. That'd be awesome.
Fantastic. And I hope everyone has a fucking lovely weekend, because I know I'm about to.
Yes. I'm about to go and have a feed and then have an enjoyable weekend.
Exactly. All right, everyone.
And
we'll catch you later.
See you, lads. Thanks a lot.
See you guys.
Yep.